Hi amigas. So I did this look for like a Thanksgiving look or like for fall or whatever, So I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah. So just if you guys want to see how I got this look, then just keep on watching. So to start off, we are going to prep our eyelids for eyeshadow, and to do that I'm using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I just blend it out with a brush first, and then I go over with a sponge just to make sure it's all very well blended. And then I'm using my V Bella GoPro eyeshadow palette, and I'm picking up that shade called Pumpkin, and it wasn't very pigmented, so I had to kind of work with it and like really pack it on to my crease till I get my desired like pigmentation. So now I'm using my Carnival palette, and I'm just getting that yellow shade. That's the only shade I use from that palette, just to blend the outer edges of that eyeshadow to make it look more seamless and not so harsh. So now I'm just going back in with some more of that pumpkin shade, because I just felt like I didn't go high enough when I did it the first time. Like when I first packed it on, I felt I should have brought it more higher. So then I'm going back in with the yellow, just going back and forth until you're happy with how it looks. So now my next shade that I'm gonna use is one that's called Vintage. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. And then I'm just putting it in my crease or my outer corner just to deepen it out, and then I also bring it into the crease a little bit, but mainly focusing it in the outer corner. So yeah. And then I got this big fluffy clean brush just to overall blend everything together so there's no harsh lines and so it can look seamless. So now I'm using my ColourPop concealer just to cut the crease. Now this part was very difficult for me to do on camera, because for usually when I do my cut creases, I'm like super close to the mirror. So like I wanted to get close to the mirror, but like at the same time I didn't want to get out of frame because I wanted you guys to still see what I was doing, and like to see how I was doing it, so that like you guys can kind of have an idea, so that maybe if you guys recreate this look, you guys know what to do. So like yeah. And then I just blend it in and set it with some powder. I just used some of my Laura Mercier powder. And so now I'm going back in with that shade Vintage, and just to like blend out the edges of the concealer, and I'm blending it down onto my lid diagonally towards the like middle of my lid to like give this kind of like ombre liner moment type thing. And then I'm going back in with that pumpkin shade just to blend above that Vintage shade, so that once again, no harsh lines, so that it can all just look very seamless and very well blended. So of course I'm going back in with that yellow shade to blend in above the pumpkin shade, and I put a little too much of that yellow shade, so I just went back in with that pumpkin shade. Like you guys gotta work out with your eyeshadows till you guys like it. So I use this Too Faced glitter liner just to like put that line on my crease, and it was really hard like to do on camera, so I just did it off camera. So yeah. And I'm using my Garnier water like cream type lotion, and I just put it on my face before makeup because I don't know, I just feel my makeup always turns out better when I use moisturizer before applying my makeup, you know. So yeah, and if you guys do that, I really recommend a lightweight one rather than like a super thick greasy one, you know, like those kinds you would use at night. But yeah, so I'm using my Makeup Forever mattifying primer, step 1 mattifying primer, all of my face. And if you guys have oily skin, I really recommend this primer. Like, it's really good, and I feel like it helps my foundation last super long. So yeah, now I'm just mixing these two foundations, my Fenty one and my Cover FX, because one was too light and one was too dark, so I just blend them together, you know. And like, it does look a little too light for me, but that's because of my lighting, and like it oxidizes, so it gets darker when it dries, and like when it oxidizes it actually like dries to my color, so like, you know, no worries or whatever. So I'm just like, you know, blending it all over your face, and like remember to like blend down to your neck so that it can look seamless, you know. I feel like I keep saying that, but like, you know, you just want everything to come out seamless, and like so you don't look like you're just wearing a mask. So yeah, and like blend into your hairline too, so that you don't see that like different colors, you know, kind of, but whatever. So now I'm just concealing with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I first go in under my eyes and not under my chin, on my chin, and then I blend that out, and then when I'm done blending it out, I put some on my nose and on the center of my forehead. I do them like in separate steps because I don't know, I just feel like while I'm blending one part, like the other parts are drying, and then when it dries it gets harder to blend. So yeah, I just do it in like separate steps, I guess you could say. So yeah, and like, see, now I'm putting it in the center of my nose, which it didn't come out too straight, and I was trying to make it really straight, but like it didn't come out straight, so but whatever. So now I'm just blending that out, and yeah. Now to set that, I'm using my Laura Mercier powder to like set everywhere where I put concealer, basically, like to bake. So yeah, I just use a damp sponge, and I was right about to set it, but then I saw that my concealer was already starting to crease, so I blended it out, and then I went in with my powder. And yeah, so I'm using a damp sponge just because I feel like it applies the powder better, and it just helps it like melt into the skin. So yeah, so I put that under my eyes, all over my nose, my smile lines, and my chin. So yeah, I just feel like it helps like from oil, like excessive oil coming out, whatever, and like I put it on my smile lines just so it doesn't crease as bad. And now for the rest of my face, I'm only getting a little bit, like it's not a lot to bake my face, it's just enough to set my face, because since like the sponge is wet, I find that it helps melt the powder into my face so that it's not just sitting on top of my foundation. Like, I want it to be like soaked into my foundation, and I find that helps it last longer. And yeah, so now I'm using this Morphe sculpting palette, and I'm just mixing those two shades to contour my face. So I just like kind of pinch in my cheeks, and then, you know, I blend it into that hollow while blending up. You always want to blend your contour up so that your face can look like snatched, you know, like sucked in and like lifted, you know, because if you blend it downwards, it can like make your face look droopy, and ain't nobody want their face to look droopy. So yeah, so now I'm just contouring my forehead, not because I have a big forehead, because I don't. I have like a 3 head, so but like I just do it just so that it could just look even, you know, with my cheeks and stuff like. And then I also contour my double chin, but I lost the footage of that, so yeah, but I do that too. So now I'm just spraying my sponge with my setting spray, and I tap off the excess moisture that I may have on my sponge, and I just go over where I baked just to melt the powder into my skin rather than brushing it off, because once again I find that it just like makes my makeup last a lot longer. So now I'm using this KKW blush in the shade Destiny. I'm just blending it on the apples of my cheeks and into my bronzer, just so it could look seamless, you know, and just all overall very well blended. Now I'm using my Skindinavia oil control setting spray. I'm just fanning it to dry. And now I'm about to contour my nose with this Butter bronzer by Physicians Formula. I love that bronzer so much. I really recommend it if you guys haven't tried it already. So I already did my lower lash line. I just used the same colors from my crease. And those lashes are from Dodo Lashes in the style D309, and those, oh, and that mascara was the L'Oreal, what's it called, L'Oreal Paradise /Paradise or whatever. I really love that one. And yeah, and that highlighter is the Butter highlighter by Physicians Formula. I also really love that highlighter. I really recommend that if you guys haven't tried it already. Now I'm using this Wet n Wild loose pigment in the shade Carol. Like, oh, I love this as highlighter. Like, it's just so blinding. I really recommend it if you love that like super blinding highlight. So yeah, and I also use that to highlight the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and I think I also used it as my inner corner highlight, you know, to just give that extra pop. I sprayed it with my setting spray just to make it look more metallic, and so, you know, I have metallic sparkly cheles like how Kevin says. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen my last video, then you won't really understand that, but yeah, sparkly cheles. So I just sprayed my face, and I'm going over it with my sponge just to once again melt all the powders that are sitting on my face and just like blend in my highlight or whatever. So I used my KKW lip liner in the shade Nude number 2, and I used that brush to blend it out. And I'm using my Dose of Colors Desi X Katy lipstick in the shade My Main, and as I was applying it, I saw it was kind of like a pinky brown, and that's not really what I wanted. I wanted to be kind of like a orangey brown, and so like I tried blending into my lip liner to see what would that do, but I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I just wanted a bit more orange, so I got this really pretty lipstick that I have, and I just put that on top. It's like a really pretty orangish brownish like lipstick. It's really pretty, but I felt like it was kind of too dark for this look, so that's why I just put it on top of the Dose of Color ones to see if it would like kind of balance each other. So yeah. Okay, amigas, you know, we just finished doing this look or whatever. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and like leave a comment if you guys want. You know, you guys can make my day or whatever. And yeah, and just a quick little update, I forgot to say this in the intro, but soon, I don't know when, but a video, I will be uploading a video after this one about a life update and why I haven't been on YouTube for more than a year. Like, sorry guys, but yeah, so that's gonna be up soon. I already filmed it, so yeah, just stay tuned for that. Turn on post notifications, you know, subscribe if you guys aren't already, and yeah, okay, bye.